All right, so we're going to look for 4 things when we're actually cueing the movement. The first one we're going to do is tell them what the movement is. So it's a barbell back squat. We're going to tell them second where they should be feeling it to establish that mind muscle connection. So the quads, the glutes, the hamstrings. Also feel free to make sure that we're using terms that they might understand, like front of the thighs, back of the thighs, the glutes. We want to tell them how to do the movement, so making sure that we're giving them around 2 to 3 concise cues. We don't want to just word vomit. And then the 4th thing is going to be how or why it ties back into their goals. So, if it's someone who's looking to lose weight, maybe you're saying, well, this will help with the weight loss, this will help with our toning. If it's someone who's looking to put on muscle, this is going to help build that strength and that muscle size through those legs. So again, the 4 things: the what is the movement, the where we want to feel that movement working, how to actually perform that movement, and why that movement is related to their goals. All right, so we're gonna go over the barbell back squat. So hands are about shoulder width apart, come underneath the bar, lift off, 1 step back. Feet are gonna be slightly wider than hip width apart. You can have them slightly turned out if you want. Chest up nice and tall, sit the hips down and back. Big thing is that we're trying not to allow those knees to cave in at the bottom. So knees stay out, chest stays up nice and tall. When we rack it, walk it all the way into the rack until we feel it connect with that metal, and then let it slide down. We're gonna do the barbell bench press. So for this one, we're gonna lie back, line the eyes underneath the bar. The way that I like to determine my hand grip is the thumbs are gonna be on the edge of the serrated part here. For people that are a little bit taller, you're probably gonna want the hands a little bit further out, smaller, maybe a little bit in. But again, thumbs on the edge of the serrated part, wrap them around, knuckles up to the ceiling. And then from here, we're gonna look to try and create a 45-degree angle between the armpits. So arms are at a 45-degree angle here, touching just below that nipple line. Knuckles are rolled up to the ceiling, and then slight bar path backwards at the top of the movement. And then same thing, make sure that you rack it where we're making contact with the rack and then coming down. All right, so we're gonna do the barbell bench press. So first thing, I'm gonna lie back, get my eyes lined up with the bar. I'm gonna determine my hand placement by having my thumbs on the edge of the serrated part. If you're a little bit taller or have longer arms, go ahead and move them out just a little bit. But for most people, thumbs on the edge of the serrated part, tuck them around, roll the knuckles forward, come up. We're starting with the hands over the shoulders and then touching down just below that nipple line. Arms are at a 45-degree angle here, so big thing, we don't want to flare those elbows out. We want to keep them in at a 45-degree angle. That's going to keep that shoulder in a safer position there. And then we want to just press up and slightly back as we're executing the movement. Okay, so we're going to do the seated row now. I'm going to reach out, grab the handle of the cable, shoulders rolled down and back, rowing that cable into about the belly button. Chest nice and big. I'm thinking pinch my shoulder blades together in the back. Big thing, I'm not rowing too high. I'm trying to avoid shrugging my shoulders. And I also don't want to freeze that shoulder in place and dump that shoulder forward. So chest up nice and tall, rowing into the belly button, pinching those shoulder blades together in the back. Just a reminder, we're looking to work the mid-back muscles, aka those rhomboids and those mid-traps most on this movement. We're gonna do the deadlift now. So difference between a squat and a deadlift. Squat is gonna be more of a vertical movement, so the knees are coming forward, chest is staying up tall, we're going up and down. Deadlift or hinge movements in general are going to be much more of a horizontal movement. So butt goes back, shoulders come forward, we're squeezing with the glutes and the hamstrings. So we're gonna cue more of a hinge deadlift here. So what I'm looking for, bars close to the shins, reach down, feet are about shoulder width apart, hips back, shoulders forward, tuck those shoulders in. It's like we're trying to squeeze a towel in between the armpit to keep those guys engaged. And then from here, lift up, squeeze the glutes, back stays flat, shin stays vertical, knees are over those heels to get good engagement of the hamstrings and the glutes. Common movement errors for this one is going to be bars too far out, which is going to put more strain on that low back, so make sure to keep that bar in close to the shins. Losing tension through the shoulder, so we're getting long through the shoulder as opposed to keeping those lats in that rotator cuff packed and activated. Another one is going to be turning it into a squat, so sitting the hips too low and coming up. Those are going to be the main ones that we're looking for, so just make sure shins stay vertical, knees over heels, butt back, shoulders forward, core tight, lock in those shoulder blades, and then hips come forward, hips come back. We're going to do barbell shoulder press. So hands are going to be just slightly wider than shoulder width apart. Come underneath the bar, step back, and then I want you to think knuckles rolled up to the ceiling, punching through that ceiling. Other thing is that my elbows should be about in line with my ears at the top here. So we don't want to have the bar out in front of us and arching through that thoracic spine. We want to have those elbows in line with the ears. That helps us stabilize using those lower traps. The 45-degree angle as we press up is going to allow us to stay in that scapular plane and decrease the chance of any injuries at the shoulder. Last thing is we don't want to have those elbows flare out as we press up. We want to keep them at that 45-degree angle. All right, here's the front view of that barbell shoulder press. So notice my arms are at around a 45-degree angle in relation to my chest. So I'm not allowing for those elbows to flare all the way out. It's not wrong if you do that. It just increases the chances that we're going to impinge on the soft tissue structures in the shoulder. So if we keep them at the 45-degree angle, that's going to increase the chance that we're going to be targeting the shoulder without compromising the shoulder joint. All right, we're going to do the chin up next. So hands are going to be facing my face. Complete relaxation through the shoulder joint at the start initially. And then I want you to think, drive the elbows down, nice vertical path. We want to try and avoid arching that back and then shrugging at the top. So again, just nice vertical path, driving the elbows down, chin stays close to the bar, chin all the way over at the top. Okay, we're going to do the push-up now. Hands are going to be slightly wider than shoulder width apart. Hips tucked, core tight. Elbows are over the wrists at the bottom of the push-up. Arms are at a 45-degree angle here, so I'm not flaring out with the elbows as I come up. And then a couple of other common movement errors is either having the hips sink as we do the push-up, or having the shoulders come up before the hips, which means that we need to tighten the core so that it's one smooth, fluid motion. Again, this is going to work chest, shoulders, and triceps primarily. All right, we're going to do a leg lower now. So for most lower ab exercises, the biggest thing that I'm looking for is that the low back stays flat on the floor. That means that we'll be engaging that transverse abdominis as opposed to arching through that low back and engaging those muscles instead. So you can have your hands underneath your hips if you want. I usually have them to the side. Legs are going to be up again. Keeping that low back flat on the ground. This is me arching that low back. What you'll notice is that you'll see my rib cage is flaring, and you can visibly see it in my shirt when my low back is not on the ground, as opposed to if my low back is on the ground, it'll be nice flat stomach. So that's an easy way to check to see if someone's low back is staying flat on the floor. Okay, so for most bicep exercises, what we're looking for here is that the elbow stays underneath the shoulder or just slightly in front. So what we don't want is for that elbow to kick back in the first half and then sweep forward in the second half. That means that we're compensating using that shoulder. So we want to think elbow stays just in front of that shoulder joint, minimal movement at the shoulder, allow for that bicep to do the work. Okay, we're going to do a rope tricep extension. So big thing here is I'm looking for the elbow to be under the shoulder as we do the movement. So I don't want to see that shoulder roll forward at the bottom. You want to think shoulder stays back, arms straight in, good contraction on that tricep.